In today's talk, we want to talk about problems with the buckets. Like you can have problems when you're trying to fill them with your partner. And I just want to discuss this a little bit. The thing you need to keep in mind that you're actually filling up their bucket and they're actually filling up your bucket. So it's not about what you want really right now, it's what they need. And that's the biggest problem you're going to have with your partner, I think. That's the biggest problem I had. So, for example, if you're talking about the physical bucket and they're complaining that they don't think the physical bucket's full enough, but you're thinking, no, the physical bucket's full enough for me, you can't stay in that spot. You've got to talk to them about what more do they want in the bucket, do they want more physical this, or that. That's how you fill the bucket up. It's not about whether you think it's all right, because you might think it's fine, you're quite happy with the way it is, but they're not. And they're going to be the problem. For example, with the emotional bucket, if they think saying hello to you and saying I love you is kind of covering it all, you might need to say to them, no, I need more emotional connection, like more emotional intimacy in my bucket. That's not filling my bucket up. It's really important to be very clear about what you need in your buckets, otherwise you're going to have problems, because they're going to go, well, it seems fine to me. And you're going, yeah, for you it is, but not for me. So you're going to have a situation where one of your buckets needs to be full because it isn't, and the other person thinks it's fine because obviously it's enough for them. And then you'll have the dualistic problem where both the buckets aren't full enough. And that's going to be really where you both have to really, really go and talk. You might need to even get someone to help you, like a counsellor or therapist or something, especially with the really difficult ones. I think the money one's a difficult one, and the children one can be very difficult. Those two seem to me to be really difficult buckets. The order and the priority of the buckets can become problematic too, because if you have very different priorities, say your first three are like love, trust, and emotional connection or something, and their three are like, I don't know, some three other random ones that don't really have much to what you think, then you need to also have a look at that and make sure that they're attending to your love bucket, your trust bucket, your emotional bucket. And then you need to be attending to their, I don't know, what might be their family bucket or their faith bucket or their lifestyle bucket. It's really important that you have a look at each other's buckets in terms of how you're going to fill them. And also the priority, because the priority is really important, because if they prioritise, say, lifestyle, it's a very, very high up the top, or fun, and you've put lifestyle and fun for you, it seems fine, and you've put it down near the bottom, you're going to have to go and have a look at those buckets for them to make the lifestyle what they want and what they need, and then the fun, what they need, maybe more fun. It's got two parts to it, this fixing up the buckets. There's also going to be another issue that comes up, that people, when we're going through this process, can think they're doing okay and don't criticise me. Remember, this isn't a criticism. This is trying to balance all the buckets so we can stay together because we love each other. That's what you need to keep coming back. We love each other, but we're two individuals and we have individual needs, and that's what we're trying to do. We're not criticising other person. We're just trying to get those needs filled. You also need to get very clear about what it is you need. For example, if in the romance bucket, they're fine with it, they don't really care about it and need it, you really, really need it, then you need to be very clear. I need romantic dinners, I need some flowers, I need you to give me a surprise sometimes, I need for you to be romantic with me and come up and give me a hug and a kiss and be really romantic and say romantic things. You probably need to be very, very clear about how to fill that bucket. It's no good saying, oh, you need to fill up the romance bucket. You have to be really clear and explain what that means to you. If it's the fun bucket, for example, you need to, and your partner says, oh, you're not much fun anymore, blah, blah, then you need to say, well, what do you need? And if they say, well, I need us to mess around a little bit more, I need us to make jokes, practical jokes, I need to watch some funny movies with you, I need to have fun, do things that are fun. And that's the other thing, they might find certain things are fun that they like doing. So you need to do more of those fun. It could be games night or pizza night, whatever they like that makes for them fun. This is all about collaboration. This is all about teamwork. You're trying to avoid your relationship dying. That's what you're trying to avoid. And honestly, whether you've got 5 buckets that you have to work on or 15, just do it. Just do the work. Just do it bit by bit by bit. Do your worst buckets first. So the things that are really problematic that you can both agree on. Yes, we're really having problems in this area, and the work buckets. We've got to find a better way to do with the work, so that it helps our relationship, doesn't impede it. Whatever the bucket is, you need to sit down and really talk about it. Put the bucket in the middle of you, so it doesn't become so personalised. Put the bucket in the middle of you. This is what I need for the bucket. This is what you need. Let's see if we can do that. I believe if we fix up the broken buckets or the nearly empty buckets, we can actually start to fix up our relationship. And if we fix up our partner's priority buckets and kind of make them our priority to fix, they might not be our priority, but they are our priority to fix up. I think we can really, really make a good relationship with that person. The buckets I found really fascinating, and I really think they're the clue to fixing it up. If you really love each other, and I think if you're listening to these podcasts, you're in a relationship where you've got a lot of love, but it's not going always that well, and you can start to fix up those buckets, it's going to make a big difference. For example, in the abuse bucket, if you've got a partner who's very verbally abusive because they grew up with that and you don't like it and it really upsets you, then you say to them, that bucket's not working for me. I'm not verbally abusive to you, but you are to me. You need to stop being verbally abusive. And all they have to do is stop. And it gets fixed. It's just really, really important that you be very honest now. This is where you've got to be honest with your partner. Tell them why it's not working and what we have to do to fix it. What I need from you to fix it. And that's where you've got to go away and do a little bit of thinking. We're all different, everyone's different, and in our differences, it's kind of an attraction. Sometimes we can be attracted to people who are different, but those differences can actually become problems, become negative problems in your relationship, because if you're not feeding each other, the relationship's going to die. That's basically what's going to happen, is really going to die. Go away and do the work. Do it on yourself. If you've got a partner who doesn't want to cooperate for a while, because some people can be really stubborn. Oh, there's nothing wrong. I don't want it. Sounds like all crap to me. So I'll start like that. And you start working. You can sort of start bringing it in gradually and talking to them about it. And work out where it's not working for you. And then start seeing if you can talk to them about those things and get them fixed. And then you can go to where it's not working for them. Because that's the thing, you're doing the dualistic thing. You're doing me and then you, or you and me, or then you could actually just do it together as a kind of a project to get your relationship on a more even keel. And like it'll be more fun, it'll be more loving, there'll be less fights. It's got so many benefits. And you won't be resentful because you know that person's kind of making an effort. You might have married someone who's not very romantic and you're really romantic, and maybe they can't be, Mr. Knight in shining armour, but they can at least be a bit more than they are and start to fill your bucket up a bit. And the other thing is too, you can fill your own buckets to a degree in some of them. You can do nice things for yourself, you can make fun for yourself, you can sort out your money stuff so it works for you. I just feel that it's important to always be shoring up the sides with our relationships. They keep changing, and of course we keep changing, and also our situations keep changing, and that's why the buckets are important, because before you have children, that's not one of the buckets you might need to consider. Or, for example, if now your work situation has really changed, now you have to change that because it's completely different. Maybe one of you got retrenched or someone's gone back studying, so that bucket now becomes maybe problematic. Go away, do the work, I think you'll find it fascinating. I found it really interesting. And it also taught me a lot about myself. It made me realise what really was important to me in a relationship, when I really had to sit down and put all these buckets in order, which was quite confronting to work out which ones they were. And I kept doing it. I just put it on the table with the little pieces of paper. I had it there and I put them in order, and then I'd come back and have another look at it. And some of the little tickets, they were all in a line next to each other because I couldn't work out if they were bigger or more priority. It just seemed similar. When you do this practice, you are working towards a better relationship. You're trying to get a healthier relationship, and you're trying to maintain your love relationship. As far as I'm concerned, that's the best thing you can do. And you can go to counsellors and therapists and all these different people, and they're great. But this thing you can just do on your own. It doesn't cost you any money. And I think it can fix a lot of the problems up in your relationship. Good luck with this one. Have fun with this one. I think it's a good one to do. And wishing you lots of love and lots of healing.